continue the road trip at Rexall Place in Edmonton, Alberta. And after scoring his first 2 NHL goals the other night, Colton Parayko comes home to Edmonton for the first time. Speaking of firsts, it's Connor McDavid's first regular season game at sold-out Rexall Place. The Blues road trip continues in Edmonton, Alberta at Rexall Place. Beautiful fall afternoon. Normally there's a foot of snow outside Rexall, but not today. And tonight it's the Oilers' home opener as tonight they host the St. Louis Blues. And we say hello from the broadcast booth. I'm John Kelly. Of course, there is Darren Robert Pang. There's going to be a lot of energy in this building tonight, Panger.
Yeah, there is. I mean, the home openers are special. It's special for a lot of reasons here in Edmonton with a new general manager and a new coach in Todd McClellan, and obviously Connor McDavid. There are so many McDavid sweaters that are in the stands here for this game.
Well, how about young Colton Parayko? Of course, he grew up in nearby St. Albert, Alberta, which is a suburb of Edmonton, and he's coming off a 2-goal effort the other night.
I asked him before the game how long it took him to come here, and he said it's about a 22-minute ride. And I said, do you remember the first time you came here? And he goes, no, I've been here so many times and coming to see NHLers play, and obviously a big night in front of at least 6 family members and another probably 15 friends and good friends that he played minor hockey with here along the way that are here to celebrate his first NHL game. Here's his first NHL goal. Doesn't seem like much, but you talk about high patience and intelligence. Joel Farnsworth got his first NHL puck, but he wasn't done yet because of the injury to Shattenkirk. He gets a little bit more ice time. Played almost 19 minutes, and he rifles that one. Now, make no mistake, Parayko can fire the puck. He has got a Shea Weber-like heavy shot. Both those shots are real smart, hard snapshots that found their way through the net, and boy, is that nice to look at.
Some of the other Blues newcomers have been very impressive, including Scotty Upshall and Troy Brouwer.
Scotty Upshall came into the last game at a much-needed time. You never like to see anybody go down with an injury, but that's what Doug Armstrong has done. He's brought in NHL depth, and there's no uncertainty when Upshall gets in. He's played 554 NHL games. He did a wonderful job, especially the energy that he added in the first period. The Blues were in the penalty box way too often, so Ken Hitchcock got him out on the ice an awful lot, whether it be with Laterra or with David Backes. He had this scoring chance here, digging. That didn't go in, but boy, oh boy, he was going to make sure the next time around that he was going to hound this puck like you read about, and he stuffs it underneath the goaltender Hiller for his first goal as a St. Louis Blue. And then there's Troy Brouwer, a real complete two-way hockey player. On the defensive side of it, he's always on the ice with David Backes and Yaskin. But in this game, he's going to start at even strength with Jori Laterra. Scored a big goal off a brilliant pass from David Backes in the last game. He just simply does everything. He's the kind of player that every team in the NHL, they want. You want to add a player that can make the puzzle work? You add a Troy Brouwer. He's going to be perfect here for the Blues.
We mentioned this is the Oilers' home opener. They began with losses in St. Louis, Nashville, and Dallas. Although the other night in Dallas, Connor McDavid had his first NHL goal.
Yeah, he had a couple of really good chances in the opener against the St. Louis Blues, and it'll probably help him that this is the second time that he's seen players, like centermen like Stastny and like David Backes and like Jori Laterra and the defensive tandem of Pietrangelo and Bouwmeester. But in this game against Dallas, you just see the hockey sense and probably the relief more than anything else. Shot from the point, he just sticks his blade out there, it goes right off the end of the blade, but he started it with the rush. He's a bullet-trained centerman through the middle of the ice, and that's where the Blues have to really pay attention. Don't give him time and space, but you can see how gifted he is with that hand-eye coordination as he got his very first NHL goal and the puck to go along with it.
The Blues and Oilers meet for the second time in 8 days. The Blues took the opener 3-1. They meet again tonight in the Oilers' home opener. They score right off the face-off. Here's a breakaway. Tarasenko in the clear. He scores! Now for Laterra. Pass back. They score! Fabbri, his first. A shot and a save by Elliott, his toughest test of the night. And now Brouwer to the empty net. He scores!
Blues Hockey is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center with 40 convenient locations. You're in, up, fixed out the same day. Visit your local Mid-America Chevrolet dealers for great prices on all our 2015 and 2016 vehicles today. And every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. Blues getting set to take on the Edmonton Oilers in Edmonton. And Bernie, we talked about this during the pregame show, a little bit of the shuffle with Shattenkirk out on the Blues defensive pairings here tonight.
Yeah, let's hope that Shattenkirk is just a minor injury that's going to be back real soon. But they did recall Butler from Chicago, which tells me that he probably is not going to be ready tomorrow. So this is probably, just precautionary anyway. But yes, Parayko moves up with Gunnarsson. Again, and Robert Bortuzzo very, very, ready and willing to jump in the lineup. So I don't think this really changes an awful lot, other than the fact that, Shattenkirk will be missed because of the great offense that he provides. But we're seeing a lot of great offense from Parayko in the last game. So hopefully he'll continue to have that happen, especially when he's at home in front of his parents, a lot of friends there back in the hometown. So it'd be nice for him to continue the role, maybe score another goal or two tonight.
There's no question youth shall be served in this game. When you think about Parayko, Edmondson, who made a great save in the last game and has played well, and as well as Bortuzzo, who didn't see a lot of time because of injury that he was dealing with during training camp.
Yeah, you know what, again, the depth of this organization, the depth of the defense, and we know we got Lindholm back in Chicago too as well. So the young kids are big. They're happy to be playing out there. They're excited. And, anytime you go to Western Canada, for both Edmondson and for Parayko, they're from Western Canada. They're excited to be back, and especially playing in that building. That building's got a lot of history. Edmonton Oilers winning all their Stanley Cups, the great Wayne Gretzky. So that was one of maybe the greatest teams that was ever, put together in the National Hockey League history. So a lot of those guys watched them. They were big fans of the Edmonton Oilers. So I think it's always very exciting to go back to Edmonton to play, especially when you know that this is the last year of that building.
Speaking of which, it is the last year, and I didn't know Darren Pang's first game was in Edmonton, but you in your early years played at Rexall Place.
Yeah, that building was opened in 1974 for the World Hockey. In fact, the Oilers are going to be wearing the World Hockey uniforms tonight, the bright orange. That was the original uniforms that the World Hockey used with the Edmonton Oilers. But no, I played a game in there at the end of my junior in 1975, late 75. We played against the Russian Touring Army team. That was the Western Hockey League All-Star team that we played, and we were the only team that they went across Canada. We were the only team that actually beat them. They played a lot against some pro teams as well, so it was very, very exciting to be in that building. That was the big building for all of us. I mean, we all played in little buildings in Western Canada. We got to play, all our buildings were about 3,000, and then to go to play in a building that holds 17,000 was pretty special. But all the great teams, all the great Stanley Cups, the atmosphere in there is always really, really exciting. And, that building's going to be sorely missed, but you know what? It's 40 years old now. It's time for them to move on, and I think it's going to be great. The new building is going to be right downtown Edmonton. I think it's just going to be absolutely wonderful. It's a great hockey city, and they obviously are very excited about, shutting the building down in style this year, so we'll have to see how the Oilers do this year.
And I know you guys have always mentioned that's one of the best ice surfaces in all the NHL.
Yeah, it is, and we'll see how quick the ice is tonight.
All right, let's go to Rexall Place and get ready for the drop of the puck of this one between the Blues and the Oilers as we send it to John Kelly and Darren Pang, guys.
Gentlemen, as the Blues play at Edmonton, it is their home opener, and tonight's top starting goaltenders, Brian Elliott, is back in goal. He's won 5 in a row against the Oilers, including a 3-1 opening night victory, stopping 23 of 24. Cam Talbot has played very well this year. Losses in St. Louis and Nashville, and allowed a couple of goals in each game. And, of course, Ken Hitchcock grew up here in Edmonton, always loves to come back here. And Todd McLellan, after spending 7 years in San Jose, and you can see already that the Oilers are a much more disciplined team under McLellan.
Well, already you're seeing the influence of what kind of player that he likes. He's got Paul Hendricks, basically a fourth-line grinder, but a real responsible player up on the top line with Hall and Nugent Hopkins. McDavid is not playing with Hall for this game.
So it is Hall, Hendricks, and Nugent Hopkins against Stastny, Steen, and Tarasenko. And underway here at Edmonton. Taylor Hall a shot. That's wide by a couple of feet. And now Steen trying to clear it away. Kicks one to center. And Bouwmeester, the Edmonton native, on defense with Pietrangelo. And the Blues wind up in their own zone.
Yeah, and as this game goes along, if you're into matchups, you'll see that Bouwmeester and Pietrangelo quickly go for a change because the Blues coaching staff, they want that tandem up against the McDavid line, which is Yakupov and Pouliot.
Now Steen a pass, but the Blues are changing, and no one was home on the left point, and now Jori Lehtera, he flies back in his own zone. And then Gunnarsson for Parayko. Here's Gunnarsson again. Up the middle off the Lehtera's stick. Oilers break it up. Gunnarsson and Parayko did not play at all in preseason. As a matter of fact, they were on opposite clubs in the preseason drills. So this is really a first for those two paired together tonight.
Ooh, Broward just got toppled over there in the neutral zone and landed on the back of his head, it looked like, but no call on the play.
Now it's Connor McDavid, a shot. And that was just off the mark as he flew it in left wing.
Boy, and then he finishes his check there on Jaden Schwartz on the far side. A nice applause from the crowd and a good first shift for McDavid.
Now the puck to center ice, grabbed by Anton Lander. Long pass by Reinhart. He's been a healthy scratch the last 2 games. Now picked up by number 16, Teddy Purcell. Off the boards, a shot, they score! Korpikoski, and it's 1-0.
Well, the Blues continue to give up the first goal. This one here, off the end boards, a one battle, quick play, and Lauri Korpikoski takes advantage. A changer, Edmondson just got on the ice. Gunnarsson turns and retrieves, and he thinks he's got his man. Not real strong on that play, and Korpikoski gets on the inside. He thinks he's whacking his stick, but he's actually whacking the ice, and Korpikoski gets a lot on that little bank play off the end boards.
And he scores at 136. That's his first of the year and first goal in 27 games, going all the way back to last year. But the Blues have now surrendered the first goal in all 4 games this year. Korpikoski had 6 goals in 69 games last year in Arizona. Then had a career high of 19 goals a few years ago in the desert. So a tough start for the Blues. Teddy Purcell gets the lone assist.
Teddy Purcell just rifled it from the other side of the line, and it was just tipped ever so slightly, but didn't lose any speed as it went in off the boards. But again, it's a one-on-one position right there where it's a turn, pivot, and get on the inside position as much as possible. And I'm sure from the reaction of Brian Elliott, he wasn't expecting Korpikoski to get that much on it. But there's the turnover in the neutral zone. Here's Purcell right there, and he just gets it in. It could have been icing, but the linesman blew that off, knowing that, I guess, seeing that he was just on the inside of the center ice line. But again, it was a lost battle, one-on-one battle there. It's won by Korpikoski.
As we check the Plaza Tires Service scoring summary, Purcell gets the lone assist. Now Taylor Hall a drive and a save by Elliott. Oilers get it down low. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. As the Oilers use some crisscrossing in the corner. Matt Hendricks there. Back on the line, a shot by Klefbom. And that goes just wide. Blues trying to clear it away. Nugent-Hopkins battles. And now Tarasenko at the line. Tipped along by Steen. But that's broken up and flown right back in by Nugent-Hopkins.
Well, the neutral zone play of the Edmonton Oilers has been stronger than the Blues so far.
Another turnover. And a shot by Hall, and a rebound is gobbled up by the Blues. Lehtera. And the Blues quickly to center. Here comes Steen. And he is hit from behind now to Tarasenko. Trying to get it away from McDavid. He does. And Vladdy Tarasenko hands it back to Lehtera. Tarasenko, tough angle, a shot. That's high and wide and off the glass and back to center ice. And then the Oilers come in, but that play is offside.
Alex Pietrangelo really got pushed hard off the puck, off the play. After this is stopped here, Bouwmeester goes to play it around, and right there is the cross-check from behind by Hendricks, and that creates another good scoring chance. But this is a different Edmonton Oilers club. We can talk about, you're right, Connor McDavid, but it's a more tenacious club. They're playing the game where they're strong on their sticks. They're not one and done, like a little bit of a pop gun push every once in a while. These guys are playing hard hockey. The Blues have got to get themselves prepared here rather quickly, or they're going to be chasing the game.
Well, they're already chasing it. It's 1-zip. The Blues have been outshot 5-0. As Lehtera darts in. Now Schwartz wide open. Brouwer shot. Rebound. They score. Lehtera maybe out of mid. come down the ice and tie the game at 1.
That is just brilliant stuff right there. What a way to counter. And you know what? This line needed that as well. Talked to Jaden Schwartz before the game, and he said he's got to get to the middle of the ice a little bit more like he did last year. But this is just absolutely some tremendous chemistry. Look at the play. 2 Edmonton Oilers go towards Schwartz. That way he's able to give it over to Troy Brouwer after Laterra makes a perfect pass. But with the 2 Oiler defensemen going over to Schwartz, it left Brouwer wide open. And then, of course, the second attempt goes right on the tape to the Finn, Jori Laterra.
And that is his first goal of the season.
The St. Louis goal scored by...
So the Blues tie the game at 3:14.
The assist.
On a heads-up play, going to the net by Laterra with his stick on the ice. A year ago, the
Time 3 minutes 14.
Finn in his first year in the NHL had 14 goals in 75 games.
The assist, Brouwer and Schwartz at 3.
Well, Jori Laterra made that brilliant pass to Robbie Fabry for Fabry's first NHL goal in his first NHL game against the Oilers. But it all starts with transition. A pinpoint perfect pass by Pietrangelo to Laterra to start it off. And then again, a little bit of a mismanaging where that puck's going by the Oiler defense. But Schwartz does make a real nifty little pass there to get it over to Brouwer on his right.
So we're tied at 1. Here's Alexander Steen on the cycle. And now Stastny, and that puck rolls on him, and it comes to center ice. And back in Darren, I was about to say that the Blues have allowed 5 shots on goal, and so far in their first 3 games, Mr. Pang, they have not allowed many even-strength shots against.
No, they haven't. They've done an excellent job of that so far. They've only allowed 13.6 even-strength shots against per game. It's a pretty good number. And obviously 4 straight power plays for the Calgary Flames in that last game gave especially the skill players of Calgary a lot of momentum early on. But the Blues were able to hang in there and get a real good gritty win there in Calgary.
As Hall banks it off the glass. Here's Hendricks into Nugent Hopkins. And then a shot goes just wide by Schultz. And that was a dangerous rush. Now the Oilers attack again. Nugent Hopkins to the line. Tarasenko hooks it back to center. Too far for Steen, and now he goes off on a line change. Oilers pour back in the zone. It is Matt Hendricks for Hall. And the Blues on the back check break it up. Good job by Upshaw. And now kicked along by Pietrangelo. And he deals the puck in behind the Edmonton goal. Talbot sends it around the boards. That's cut off by Upshaw. Upshaw had 6 shots and a goal the other night in Calgary. And now a pass in front for Upshaw. Lost it. Now he gets it. Another shot. Talbot the save. Now Backus to Upshaw. Quickly back to Pietrangelo. Little head fake. And then he moves in. Pass in front to Yashkin. And he can't get his redirection on goal. And the Blues dangerous here. And now Dmitry Yashkin on the cycle. Trying to get away from Anton Lander. And it goes back to the goal again. There's Pietrangelo racing in. He gets it. In front of Upshaw, a shot. And that was blocked at the defense. What a best sustained pressure of the period for the Blues.
Just an outstanding shift by Alex Pietrangelo. Just absolutely outstanding. Little shake and bake inside the blue line. Follows that up with a good pass. Gets to the far corner on the opposite side of the offensive zone. Gets the puck there and makes another good play to Upshaw.
And now it is sailed high to center by Pietrangelo. And now grabbed by Kyle Brodziak. Sends it back of the goal. And the former Ranger goalie, Cam Talbot, plays one on the wing. That's tipped down the ice. No icing here. And Robert Bertuzzo retreats for the Blues. Here is Brodziak, the former Oiler, a one-time draft choice of this club. And then for Joel Edmondson. And he tries to work it up the boards, puts it on the glass. Reeves can't get it off his glove and out, and that stays in the zone. Edmondson now for Bertuzzo. Short pass, and then Brodziak rink wide. Here comes Edmondson. And that pass tipped at the line, and the Oilers do break it up. And now taken by Benoit Pouliot, who is signed as a free agent.
That's where Edmondson's going to want to get that puck instead of laterally along the blue line, because he's the defenseman, to get that one deep and just make the simple play in that one there. But he's got to have a little bit of nerves as well, playing in his first game right here in Edmonton.
The Blues healthy scratches tonight. Chris Butler and Scott Gomez. As Gomez has yet to appear in a game for the Blues. Now it is Schwartz in there.
And again, we don't know how long Kevin Shattenkirk will be out. We just do know that it's not an injury from his previous surgery that he had last year late in the season.
Yeah, the abdominal surgery.
Yeah.
Now it is Troy Brouwer circling back for Bouwmeester. Shots 5-3 Oilers. 1-1 the score. Blues quickly to center ice. Stastny down his off wing. In the circle, a shot. Talbot a right pad save, and he lost the rebound, but fortunately for him, no Blues player was there.
That's a great play again by Stastny. He did it in the last game in Calgary, a little cutback move. Upshall scored on the rebound, and that one there is a hard save for a goalie to make.
Now the Blues cough it up, and a shot by Nugent Hopkins right on, and a save by Elliott. And the puck up the wing, now grabbed by Stastny across to Gunnarsson. And he delays for Parayko. Blues are changing. Steen's pass goes to the Oilers. And now Lander will lob it in. It's Parayko back first for the Blues. Hard around the wing. Yashkin can't get it out. And here's the youngster Griffin Reinhart, who played against the Blues but was a healthy scratch the last two. Now taken by Upshall. He gets it off the boards and out, but Darren, just like the game in Calgary the other night, a very good pace up and down.
It is, but this time spent in the Blues zone wouldn't have happened. Parayko made the right play getting it to the winger, which is Yashkin. I know it's hard to do, but the winger's job is to make sure that puck gets out of the zone, and instead it went back into the Blues zone, and it caused about 40 seconds of the Blues reeling in there.
Yeah, the Blues have not had as many clean exits as they would like tonight. Now Edmondson a drive right on goal and a save by Talbot.
Good shot.
As he looks there for his first NHL goal. Now a race, and Edmondson gets there ahead of another rookie, Anton Slepyshev, who's out of Russia. And it goes back down the ice. Now Schultz for Klefbom. Klefbom was scored the other night in Dallas in that 4-2 loss. Blues break it up. And that's tossed in deep by Reeves. Klefbom there, odd all over him. He gives it up, and now Brodziak on the forecheck, but the Oilers get it. And the speedy Taylor Hall to center ice. Blues intercept, now Klefbom again. Working on Bouwmeester. To Schultz, a shot, and that's turned away by Elliott. And then the Oilers on the forecheck, but Bouwmeester very calmly up now for Pietrangelo.
Yeah, good reverse by Bouwmeester. No panic whatsoever. I thought Bouwmeester played his best game in the game in Calgary so far this year.
And then Brodziak run off the puck by former Wisconsin Badger Justin Schultz. Blues trying to hold it in. Gunnarsson cannot. And he sends it back in his own zone. And now Parayko. Up the wing. Schwartz into Brouwer. Chips it back on the goal, Laterra, who has scored the Blues goal. Korpikoski has the Edmonton marker. Now Laterra has a man in front. It's Parayko, long shot, and that was tipped and it goes high. Swatted back on the goal for Brouwer. He's worked over by Sekera. And then Brouwer, another hit on Sekera. And a couple of players try to pry it free. Schwartz there for the Blues. And he maintains possession. And now down low to Pouliot, and bangs it off the glass to center ice. Under 10 to play here in the first period. Non-stop action.
Good play there by Schwartz. They're going for a line change, and a lot of times you see the Blues just dump that puck in, and you're basically giving it away. Play it back to the D if you can, and just regroup. That's what all the good teams do.
Now the Blues get it in there. Steen for Stastny, a drive. That goes wide, rebound in front. Steen banks it, and that goes back on goal. It's in the catching glove of Cam Talbot. So the Blues, after a shaky start, have picked it up, and they've tied the game on a goal by Laterra.
Toyota, let's go places, and these are our keys to the game, and it's Bouwmeester and Pietrangelo on the back end going up against McDavid, and continued solid puck possession. And the one thing McDavid got out there on this one, it's young defenseman Colton Parayko pushing him to the outside. That was a good scoring chance, and then he finished off his hit right after that, kind of followed through with a little bit of speed. It's on the right side of your split screen there. Jori Laterra, who's got a goal in this game. And Jori Laterra is part of that puck possession game. He's so good at it. I mean, the Blues have now gotten back to that. We've got the puck, and we're going to be patient, but we're going to be strong. We're not going to just give it away. And Jori Lehtera is one of the best in the league at that.
Perhaps another key faceoff. The Oilers are the worst faceoff team in the league. The Blues are number 1. Here's Edmondson, a shot. That goes wide. It is Stastny, Steen, and Tarasenko. And now Schultz gets it back for Edmonton. And then whipped ahead for Taylor Hall. First overall pick in 2010. Although early on, the Oilers have won 6 of 9 faceoffs. Now Schultz, a shot tipped by Hall. It got through, and a save by Elliott. Then Nugent Hopkins wheels out high. And then Schultz again. That shot to the net. Hendricks tips it way high, and it goes out of play. Well, show your support of St. Louis's efforts to host the IIHF World Junior Championships in 2018 by visiting WJC and STL.com. See how you can help us showcase the best of St. Louis and win some great prizes at the same time. And Karen, you mentioned it the other night. Chris Zimmerman and the Blues have done a great job of presenting St. Louis as a great option for the upcoming World Juniors, and they're one of 3 finalists. It'd be great to get the tournament.
Yes, it'd be awesome. You'd see, you know, the future of the game, the next Connor McDavid. Maybe you see the. I mean, you look at a guy like Matthew Tkachuk as an example of a kid that's going to be representing the USA in IIHF examples. His brother Brady as well. You got a lot of St. Louis families, great young players. So the Blues organization doing a phenomenal job. This high tip is something that Todd McClellan has really worked hard at. In both practices that he's had, that we've seen, it's been high tip, shots from the point, change of direction in the high slot. Everybody's gone towards that high Sedin type tip, and it's a dangerous one. And if it's timed perfectly, boys, does it ever wreak havoc on the goaltender?
And the face-off control by the Blues. Now Pietrangelo for Brouwer. And then jammed ahead by Jaden Schwartz.
See Mark Fane, the defenseman there. Did he ever step up? Right at as soon as Schwartz got the puck, Fane was right there at the center ice, just chest to chest, making sure he didn't have any room.
Now it's whipped in by Sekera. The Slovakian. Someone has broken his stick behind the Blues goal. Now Schwartz can't move it up.
And again, the defenseman Fane, very aggressive on the pinch.
And it's kept in. And a pass or a shot by Pouliot. That goes through the slot. Blues get it back, and now Lehtera. Nice speed in for Upshaw. His pass to Pietrangelo. And the Oilers break that up. And now back in deep, it's Dale Yakupov. Look out here in front of Upshaw. Was trying to steal it from Eric Gryba.
Well, that's the quickness that Upshaw has in the game, though. He's got some hockey sense and tenacity, and he almost single-handedly took away the breakout for Edmonton.
And now the Blues are led by Parayko. He'll float one behind the goal. Talbot puts it on the glass. And the Blues can't knock it down, and now it's worked on to center for Teddy Purcell. And his pass to the corner. Purcell came in a trade from Tampa Bay. Backus tips it, and this goes back to center ice. The Oilers are one of 8 winless teams entering play tonight. There are also 7 unbeaten teams, so it's either feast or famine for half the league so far. Blues don't get it out. Slepyshev with it. He goes by that broken stick.
Minor penalty.
It's going to be on Gunnarsson. And now Letestu, but the Blues touch it. And we get a whistle. Gunnarsson got the stick in there, and he will go for 2 minutes. At least the Blues hope it's 2.
Carl Gunnarsson goes to the penalty box. It's a one-handed little hook in the hands right here as he follows his man Slepyshev behind the net right there, and the referee's off to the corner, as you can see. Once that stick just gets up there and you want to turn it and corkscrew it a little bit with one hand on your stick, it's by and large it's going to be called, whether it's the worst offense in the world or not. It's 2 hands on your stick in that position. Be firm. You can hack and whack with 2 hands on your stick and be firm and be aggressive. But once you lay one hand in there, they're going to call it.
Edmonton 1 of 9 in the power play. The Blues have killed 7 of 10. They've allowed 1 power play goal in each of their first 3 games. Blues win the face-off, fire it down the ice. For the Oilers, it is Schultz, Nugent Hopkins, Hall, McDavid, and Pouliot. So 4 forwards here.
Even though Calgary went 1 for 4 in that first period, I mean, it could have been worse.
Well, Bouwmeester has broken his stick here. He gets it from Ott now, his stick. Now Bouwmeester with Ott's stick. They're both left shots, and he gets it off the boards and down.
It's like he's playing with a mini stick, though.
A painter-sized stick.
He's not going to use that very long. He's going to hurt his back.
Now it's Schultz. He wheels away from David Backes on this Oiler power play. Pouliot across now for Hall. Banks it to McDavid. Back for Nugent Hopkins. And then McDavid again pressured there by Edmondson, and the Blues clear it. Of course, the Oilers' power play goal in Game 1 was a weird one as we get a whistle here.
Yeah, high stick.
Saturday, it's a full day of college football across the Fox networks, highlighted by West Virginia trying to contain the high-octane offense of the second-ranked Baylor Bears on Fox. It's all Saturday on Fox and FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The Oiler power play goal we mentioned, Nugent Hopkins, when Pietrangelo banked it off his own man, and Nugent Hopkins got the goal. He is one of 4 players to score a goal since 12-13 with not a shot on goal, amazingly enough. A rather fluky stat. Now the Oilers get it to the corner, and that pass by Korpikoski was tipped away.
I think as this period's gone on, I think Brian Elliott is kind of regained his foundation and his balance. I think early on, things were happening rather quickly. This is an excellent save by Elliott. Really good save. And not easy when it's that height, that 13 inches around your pad, and it can squeeze in between your arm and your stick. He fought that off nicely. But I think early on, whether it was, the opening ceremonies, there was a little bit of a smoke dust in here. I'm wondering if the vision early on was a little tough. We were downstairs
in the fog.
In the fog. We were downstairs when they were practicing it, and it was like fire alarms were going to go off. It looks a lot clearer now, John Kelly.
Now the Oilers on this power play. 20 to go in Gunnarsson's minor. Edmondson gets it near the line. Yakupov with it. Then across to Sekera. He winds up a drive, and a save by Elliott up high. And it goes to the corner, pounded down the ice by Bertuzzo. And that will just about do it.
Little different shot selection Elliott's facing in this power play as compared to the Calgary Flames power play, where it was tic-tac-toe, and it was pretty to watch if you're a Calgary Flames fan, but if you're a goalie, man, it makes you dizzy.
Blues at full strength, drop past Tarasenko. Hard wrist shot, fought off by Talbot. And now grabbed by Nugent Hopkins. He gets it by Schwartz. And then played by Elliott to the corner. But Taylor Hall is there.
Oh, nice play.
And the Blues work it all the way down the ice. Edmonton 2 shots on that power play. Now Gunnarsson for Tarasenko. And Schultz on for Hall. He was paired with McDavid on opening night and out there right now with Connor McDavid, although they did not begin the night together. And now the puck to the corner. Pouliot grabs it. At the line, Reinhart holds it in. Now McDavid back of the goal. Worked over by big Colton Parayko. And the fine-looking rookie gets it onto center ice. Shovels it back to the Edmonton net.
He's got one more goal than Connor McDavid as far as rookies are concerned. As far as anybody's concerned. But
yeah, he is third in defenseman scoring this year with a couple of goals. And now it comes around now for McDavid. His dad, by the way, Brian, is on hand again tonight. His mom and dad flew in from Toronto today. And now the Oilers center it, but Edmondson there as Yashkin knocked an Oiler player down. That was Yakupov, the fan yelled, no call. And the Blues are offside. And now we have Upshaw involved on the far side with Reinhart.
offside play is going to be whistled down.
Celebration of this past Monday's Thanksgiving.
And we get a break in the action with 2:43 to go. Blues and Oilers are tied at 1. Thank you, Scott. As Mr. and Mrs. Parayko look on, they were in Calgary the other night, and as this is almost a home game for them, watching Colton play tonight.
Yeah, but about a 22-minute drive to get here from St. Albert, Alberta.
which is also the home of former Oiler great Mark Messier. There's a rink named in his honor and a trail named in Messier's honor in St. Albert.
And the same rink with Jason is Troy Murray as well. Stanley Cup winner with the Colorado Avalanche.
Long-time Blackhawk. Now it is Lander in on the forecheck against Upshall, or rather Edmondson there. And the Blues swatted ahead. Good play by Backes.
Smart play.
On to Bertuzzo.
And again, you know, Backes doesn't get a lot of credit on the offensive side of it. There he is in yet another defensive zone face-off that he's got to do the grunt work down below and work it on the boards and get it out of the zone.
Now the Oilers up the ice, and Bouwmeester gets the puck away from Connor McDavid. Now Laterra off the boards. Now Brouwer for Bouwmeester.
See what's become automatic in the breakout this year that became inconsistent last year? As soon as the puck gets moving out of the blue zone, the weak side defenseman is up already. And that's the outlet. And it's working like it worked 2 years ago.
That's part of being more aggressive. Now McDavid ahead to Yakupov. And he puts it off the glass to the Blues line with 80 seconds left in this opening period.
And I think aggressive is right, but consistent is right. It's a reliable play where the winger that gets the puck or the player on the board, he knows that that weak side defenseman is going and getting in there.
What did Ray Bennett tell us before the game? You want to be aggressive, but not so much that you have all kinds of accidents and wrecks along the way.
Yeah, reckless meaning you got to manage the game with the right amount of risk. It's always nice catching up with Ray Bennett.
Who's from nearby Red Deer.
That's right. Hey, he was just telling me about a burger place that's on the way to Red Deer. I was getting hungry. He was talking to me about it.
Yeah, Bernie's favorite spot, right?
Yep.
Oilers play it back in. Here's Gunnarsson.
And by the way, no pierogies here at the media meal room. I was a little disappointed. I guess we need to bring Bernie for them to make us pierogies.
Now Edmondson long rink-wide feed. And Reeves will jam it in as they count it down here. 20 to go in the opening period. Oilers almost fumble the puck. Ott was in there, but now Talbot for Korpikoski. And off the boards and out. And a race, and Bertuzzo back there against Purcell. And a good job by Bertuzzo. Oilers keep on moving. Lander to the line, and that's going to do it.
Oh, too bad. Reeves and Ott were on a 2-on-1 break.
As the Oilers have a quick start, they get the goal from Korpikoski at 1:36, but less than 2 minutes later, Laterra ties it, and that's the way we finish the first period. The Blues are outshot 10-7 in the opening frame. It's the Oilers' final home opener here at Rexall Place, and after one, we're tied at 1. The Edmonton Oilers have been in the NHL since 1979 tonight. It's their final home opener at Rexall Place, as next year they will move into a brand new arena in downtown Edmonton.
A much-needed move for the Edmonton Oilers franchise, but talk about team defense. We've mentioned this before. They want to be more aggressive. That was a good play by Bertuzzo. It just hopped over the stick of Backes. You want to be active in the offensive zone? This was a great shift by Alex Pietrangelo. Kept the play alive, not once, but twice in that situation. And again, Edmonton late in the period, step up. Don't let the player get the puck and then easily dance into your zone. Make sure you take away the lines, and they will live with any odd man breaks and mistakes along the way. They want to play on their toes. That puts the onus on the forwards to be the third man back and make sure you're in a good spot. I like it that way, and I think that even though Edmonton out-hit the Blues in that first period, I thought as the period went along, the Blues sort of got used to that pace and the way Edmonton was playing.
Stastny wins the opening face-off. He is on with Tarasenko and Steen. For Edmonton, it is Hall, Nugent Hopkins, and Matt Hendricks. And the Blues shoot it down the ice.
So this line here that's on the ice for the St. Louis Blues, they aren't normally on the ice in defensive zone faceoffs, but when there's an icing call, you can't make a change if you're new to the game of hockey. But Tarasenko, Steen, and Stastny, they basically start almost every offensive zone faceoff. But now they got it in the defensive zone. We'll see how it goes.
Stastny wins the draw. A year ago, Stastny was the best face-off man in the NHL on the road.
Amazing numbers.
At 60%.
And does that ever help? Because when you're on the road, you've got to put your stick down first. Well, now in the NHL this year, it's kind of the Ron Francis, Steve Yzerman rule, but they have, in the defensive zone, you have to put your stick down first, no matter what. So let's take a look at our BJC Healthcare Difference Makers. Percentage of offensive zone starts at even strength. So they're getting the candy. I mean, they're offensive-minded. They're the ones that trot out there. If there's an icing call, they get out there. And Stastny's so good on the dots, they get a lot of puck possession, a lot of scoring chances because of that.
Now the Blues send it in deep. Jammed around by Mark Fane. Kept alive by Bouwmeester. And now grabbed there by Laterra. He has scored the Blues goal. And then Brouwer helps out. Laterra muscles his way back to the Oiler net. As Fane has him wrapped up.
Good releasing there by Brouwer. You see, three forwards were down low, and Brouwer slid out to be the third man high.
And now it comes Frida Yakupov ahead to McDavid. And he comes in with his great speed. The 18-year-old in front, tipped by Pouliot. And that goes just wide, and now the Blues net comes free, and now Brouwer gets involved with an Oiler player.
Well, Yakupov was in the crease, and he was battling away, and that's what Troy Brouwer's all about. Get in there and push him out. After Connor McDavid had a pretty good rush right there, and that was high towards the shoulders there of the goaltender, Brian Elliott. There's the play as Yakupov's driving hard to the net, and he keeps going. And you see that he extends his arms kind of in a cross-checking manner, and that made it a dangerous play. That's exactly why Troy Brouwer's going at him, because Yakupov's extension of his arms were going right at the helmet, right at the mask of goaltender Brian Elliott. You love a guy that protects the goaltender. I love Troy Brouwer. I want him in front of me.
Spoken from the heart from a former goaltender who once in this building was the #1 star in a game that featured Wayne Gretzky as the #2 star, and you've never let 99 forget that, have you?
Oh, he's forgotten it because he wouldn't even have known that. All I know is our coach wanted us in the room. I made 50 saves. Our assistant coach, Wayne Thomas, said, well, wait a second, what star are you? And the young man that was pointing it out said he's the first star. And Wayne Thomas said, who's the second star? And the young man said, Wayne Gretzky's the second star. Wayne Thomas said, go take a twirl around the ice. You'll never be first star, and Gretzky will be second star again. And it was a pretty neat moment for me.
Darren, I mentioned I talked to Connor McDavid's dad, Brian, today. He said one time when Connor was 15 years old, his phone rang, and he didn't recognize the number. He answered it. It was Wayne Gretzky. Calling Connor McDavid at 15 to talk to him, to tell him about how to handle the pressure. I mean, this kid was a phenom when he was 10, and Wayne Gretzky called him at age 15.
That doesn't surprise me, but it's a wonderful story. And it just, more stories like that need to be told about what Wayne Gretzky and the Gordie Howes and the Bobby Orrs, the legends of our game, the greatest of the greats, and what they do to pass it along. That's just paying it forward, isn't it? That's phenomenal stuff.
Now the puck up the boards. That goes by Slepyshev, but no icing here. And the rookie against Edmondson, a fellow rookie. Now Letestu comes in there for the Oilers. But then David Backes finds Bertuzzo in this 1-1 game. In on the wing now for Upshaw, a shot, and that was off target by a couple of feet, and it caroms all the way down the ice. And Colton Parayko. And he dangles in front of his own goal. Very confident with the puck for a kid in his 4th NHL game. Here he comes. Now Parayko going wide. Tripped up, and both referees let it go.
That's amazing. That's one of those, that's a trip in, I said that's a trip in any league.
I guess they ruled he tripped on the lines. I don't know.
I think they raised them this year.
Right. Now the Blues get the puck out with Ott. And he's run to the ditch on the far side by Nugent Hopkins. And Talbot sets it up now for Schultz. And Ryan Nugent Hopkins. That is dumped in by Matt Hendricks. And around the roulette wheel it goes. Steen back there for the Blues.
Good strong play there by Steen.
And he was tripped up by Hall, and that is called.
Yeah, both referees immediately put their arms up. So Number one, they likely heard it from the bench with the non-call on Parayko.
Yeah, they must have heard you, Panger.
But that's a legitimate call right there.
Yeah.
Both were trips. They missed one, they got the other one.
So the late penalty here, Elliott goes off. And he will dump it in. And now the Oilers touch it.
Well, you mentioned Colton Parayko with his 2 goals the other night. He played 18 minutes and 13 seconds. It was a +2 as Taylor Hall goes to the box. But here's the first play. Good read, identifying that. And there's the stick, the butt end of the stick. It looked like maybe Nugent Hopkins got him in the hip and tripped him. And then there's the tripping right there. Good, strong move. And if I recall correctly, Taylor Hall went down in St. Louis. And it was a tripping call against him then. Well, now he trips up Steen, and the Blues go on their first power play.
They're 2 for 7 on the year. The Oilers have killed all 9 power plays against in their first 3 games. Blues were 0 for 3 on opening night against Edmonton.
Yeah, they got Korpikoski and Letestu, 2 real good, solid veterans to lead their first penalty kill unit.
Now Steen for the captain, Backes. He gets it back. Backes to the net, and he fans on it. Now Pietrangelo right in front. A shot from the wing, and a save on Stastny by Talbot.
What a save by Talbot, moving to his right. Pietrangelo must have felt like by the time he settled that puck down, the defenseman and the goalie were in good position. He tries to go to the weak side, which is a left-hand shot, but the first one was fanned on there by Backes after a nifty play by Steen. And there's the play on the near side, as you can see, the fanned on play. And wow, that was actually a heck of a pass. And Pietrangelo's out of the picture, and you're thinking he's going to fire it on the net. He's trying to catch everyone by surprise. And look at Stastny. He's soured. Looks like he soured himself for not getting that puck up. And all he could do, though, is shovel it towards the goalie. It's a tough play right there with all the bodies in front. Remember that first save of the game on opening night at Scottrade that Talbot made on Tarasenko? Just a beauty with his left pad. That was a good one moving in the other direction.
Of course, Talbot was the backup to Henrik Lundqvist. Had to play quite a bit last year when Lundqvist hurt his neck. And the Oilers win the faceoff. Klefbom will rip it down the ice. And 40 gone in the Blues power play. And now Colton Parayko on defense with Bouwmeester. And here's Big Bo to center. Oilers back in. And he plays it around the boards for Laterra. He tried to make a play. Now Brouwer on the wing. It comes in front, but Klefbom is right there for the Oilers, and they kill some more time.
Obviously, Bouwmeester hasn't seen a whole lot of power play time. Shattenkirk being injured, that gives Bouwmeester an opportunity. 85% of his shifts come at even strength for Bouwmeester.
Now Bouwmeester in for Schwartz, looking for his first goal of the year. And he pulls up, and a pass back was tipped a bit, and it goes by Steen. And the Blues have to backtrack.
Yeah, I think maybe Parayko can yell for that maybe a little harder. He was wide open there on the same side of the ice.
And now Pietrangelo at the line. That's tipped away and then dealt back down the ice by Mark Letestu. So nothing doing so far on the Blues' initial power play. Here's Steen for Pietrangelo. He gains the red line. In deep it goes. Back as a hit on Greiba. And now Connor McDavid back there for Benoit Pouliot. And here come the Oilers, 2-on-2, short-handed. Pouliot a shot, and that goes just wide right on the ice. And then Steen for the Blues.
Good backside pressure there with 4 forwards on the ice and 1 defenseman, Pietrangelo.
And Hall is back. The Blues, 2 shots on the power play.
And Tarasenko had to really come back hard to the middle and get going and get into an extra gear to nullify an odd man break. So good defensive awareness there by Vladdy Tarasenko. And well, you should at that point, but he's got good hockey sense. He's not just a one-man offensive wrecking crew, but here he is on the right side now. It's the center of your screen, gets on the inside right there. Well-schooled, well-positioned play, so there's no dangerous scoring chance. That sucks the gas right out of you. Good to see that banter on the bench, huh? And as he's looking at Paul Stastny, they're looking at what went wrong on that power play because they just never got control of it in the offensive zone. They never slowed it down and were able to set the puck up.
Tarasenko has points in his first 3 games. Blues win the faceoff. Here comes Parayko to the net. In front of Laterra. The shot, and that goes just wide. What a setup by Parayko. And the Oilers to center ice. And Fane. He winds it in deep. And now Yashkin trying to make a play up the wing. That's cut off. Gunnarsson back of the goal. And now Parayko again. But Fane pinches down for the Oilers. As the Oilers activate their defense. Here's Hall setting up back of the goal. Under some heat there from Parayko. And then Hall in there as well. Now Upshaw shoots it around the other side. Cut bomb at the line. And he'll tip it deep again. And now for Nugent Hopkins. And again a battle behind the goal. Oilers get it in front. And a shot by Nugent Hopkins. I think it was blocked at the defense.
What a pass by Taylor Hall. Small area, quick pass right there. Nugent Hopkins, I thought he got a stick on that.
And now a long stretch pass. That was tipped away by Upshaw. Blues go back and get it. Elliott up the wing. Steen was knocked down. And Letestu holds it in for Edmonton. And now back of the goal. Slepyshev and Pietrangelo bumps shoulders. And the puck to center ice for Steen. He's rocked hard by Schultz. And now the Oilers get it. Slepyshev again. In on the wing. A high drive by Letestu. Fought off by Elliott. And kept in by the Oilers. Slepyshev a drive, and that was turned away by the Blues goaltender. Now Letestu with 12:22 to go in the second in a 1-1 game. Oilers attacking. Reinhart a shot. That's off traffic in front. And now Tarasenko takes a hit but gets it out for Steen. And then trying to hit Tarasenko. His pass in front for Stastny, and that goes just wide. Here's Pietrangelo back of the goal. And he looks for the wraparound. It comes to Schwartz, and a shot on goal, and a save by Talbot. As that pinballed around in front, right on the stick of Schwartz. We're tied at 1 here in the second.
Well, tonight's cold, hard facts are brought to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors, Light. And there is the young stud on the blue line, Colton Parayko, born in St. Albert. First rookie defenseman with a game-winning goal this season and a +3 rating. And certainly when you scout a player, you look for things like this early on. Good hockey sense, makes the play to the open man because his angle's sharp. But then he gets all the way back as his parents are watching. Karen and Tom Parayko proudly watching their son play. And, you know, a shout out along the way. Certainly one guy that deserves a lot of credit is Marshall Davidson, amateur scout for the Blues at the time, and now has joined his brother JD up in Columbus. But he and Denny Janelle, my boy, did they hound young Colton Parayko when he was 5'9", 5'10". Was playing midget AA, then playing in the Alberta Junior Hockey League with Fort McMurray, and they're just hoping that no one else was watching the same player they were, and ends up that they really were sending an urgent message to the Blues, and this is the guy that they want, and they got their guy, and look what he's turned out to be.
Yeah, they got him in the 3rd round, and again, Blues are a little bit coy. They didn't want to scout him too much, as they were fearful that it could tip off other organizations. I guess the Maple Leafs were somewhat interested in Colton Parayko.
Well, yeah, you know, Marshall would say to JD and Doug Armstrong, look at, we're not going to go to that game. All the scouts are going to be there. So I'm going to drive 5, 6, 7 hours. I'm going to go watch that game and that game and that game as Doug Armstrong, the general manager and president, looks on here in Edmonton. And so I'll play it like we're not that interested in them, but I'm going to go watch him try. And obviously they coveted Colton Parayko, and they got Colton Parayko. But who would have thought he was going to turn out to be a 6'5", 225, smooth skating, good hockey sense, terrific young man. I mean, well brought up. I mean, credit to Tom and Karen, because he stands up and shakes your hand when he sees you.
And looks in your eye and smiles.
Looks in your eye. The entire training staff is just in love with this guy, because he's got good manners. He's a respectful kid. It's wonderful to see.
So some sleuth-like scouting by the Blues lands Colton Parayko. Now it's Edmondson back of the goal. He was checked. Oilers try to center. It's off the skate of Elliott and under his right pad.
And see the way the Edmonton Oilers are going to the blue paint? You know, they're a much more tenacious group, and that's a fourth-line example right there. In our first game, we saw Todd McClellan have Slepyshev on the first line, but Slep, easy for me to say. Old Sleppy. Number 42.
That would be Slepyshev.
But he's, you know, now we moved to the 4th line with a couple of You know, a couple of real muckers and grinders right there, but they've had a good game so far.
Here's a drive on goal and a good save by Elliott on the stick. And Purcell the shot and a hooking minor, I think, on the Blues.
That's going to be on Colton Parayko. That'll be his second minor penalty so far. And look, he wants to have a conversation with Kelly Sutherland, the veteran referee.
2 minutes for hooking.
On the right side, he just, right here, nothing going on. Nothing going on. He lifted his stick at the timing of the puck going there. That was the right play. Maybe the stick slid up there around the elbows after that. That's it. But the first play was a good. I mean, you got to lift the guy's stick, otherwise you're going to get a tip in on your net. You have no choice.
It's a tough call on the rookie. Gunnarsson went off in the opening period.
Yeah.
A year ago, Gunnarsson amazingly had one minor all year. So he's matched that. Oilers 0 for 1 in the power play. Now played back of the Blues goal. As 4 players come together, and they feed it out high for Schultz. Broken up by Ott. Good play. Short pass to Bouwmeester, and he hammers it down the ice.
4 forwards on the ice on this power play unit again, with McDavid and Schultz manning the back part of it with Nugent Hopkins.
Oilers 1 for 10 on the year. Last year they were just about 18%. It comes in front. Elliott makes the save, and he knocks the rebound away from Nugent Hopkins, and shot by Brouwer, and then he chops Nugent Hopkins in the leg for good measure.
Yeah. He gets his money worth on every shift.
Yakupov with his great speed. He'll drop it off, and that was intercepted by Schwartz. It goes out of play, and there will be a face-off in the Blues zone.
Well, when Yakupov gained speed like that, he ran out of real estate. That's good, smart playing by the St. Louis Blues. David Backes again getting lots of time on the penalty kill. He and Brouwer have just become a real good, solid, reliable, hard to play against, big body, beef on the bun tandem. But Yakupov gained the zone with speed, but then he drops it off to the defenseman that's right there, 2 feet from him. And so he put them both in kind of a little bit of trouble there.
Now Purcell for the Oilers. 45 to go in the power play. In the slot, Lander can't get a shot. Sekera will. That's off a shin pad in front. Now for Yakupov. And the young Russian surveys the situation. A high drive. Hits glass, comes to center. That won't make the other 4 players on the ice very happy.
No, it will not.
You take a shot like that and miss everything. Now Purcell back of the line. That's blocked. And then scooped away by Brodziak.
The thing is, you have to have a real heck of a shot to be able to score from outside there on a wrister like that against NHL goalies. That's not going in on too many guys.
Maybe number 10 Guy Lafleur could score, but not number 10 Yakupov.
Yeah, and we've seen some great shots from the outside in the NHL this year to score goals on the rush. But by and large, it's on the rush where you've got speed and it's a 3-on-2, and you know, the center lane drive with a weak side forward, and you're rifling high over the goalie. But not when you're in a stationary position like that. And I'm sure that that's what, I don't know exactly what Todd's saying to him, but he's giving him some encouragement while at the same time saying, settle it down. There's a lot more options than just you taking a wrister from there. And if you're going to take a wrister, you better darn well hit the net.
And the Blues have now killed it off. No shots against on that second power play. And that's an icing call. Well, Kevin Shattenkirk's bobblehead night is coming up on Thursday, October 29th, when the Blues take on the Ducks. It's the first of 4 great bobblehead nights this year. Get there early. The first 12,500 will get a Shatty bobblehead. Visit stlouisblues.com/promotions for details and tickets.
We have one in the building, but what we're going to do is we're going to show it to the fans tomorrow night in Vancouver, because we've got a different broadcast position where our camera's right there. And so you'll see it. It's good. It's a good one.
Yeah, we'll debut it tomorrow night. Now the Blues attacking. Here's Pietrangelo. Tarasenko on the backhand. And a save by Talbot. Now he centers it. Fired wide. Schwartz back to a wide open Bouwmeester. And then for Tarasenko. Turns and fires it. And that's fought off by Talbot. And the Oilers take over, and here they come to center ice. Nugent Hopkins now for Hall. In the slot to Schultz. Right on goal. and a save by Elliott. And the Blues clear the rebound to center ice.
Really good save there by Elliott. But I like the desire shown by Vladimir Tarasenko on that first part of that power play. Oh, not a power play. 5-on-5, excuse me.
Now a long pass.
It looked
Too
like
far
a power
for
play.
Hendricks. It did. And the play continues. Now Bouwmeester with it. With 8 to play in this scoreless second period. Korpikoski has scored for the Oilers. Laterra for the Blues. Now Upshall. He gets it in deep. Behind the goal for the big captain, David Backes. Little short pass to Yashkin. And now Backes again. Flips it in front. And a shot by Upshall. Tricky play. That goes wide. And Upshall's pass picked up by Purcell. He goes up the middle to himself, but Elliott will swat it away. And then Bertuzzo, a big hit on the far side on the Finn Korpikoski. And now the Oilers get it back. Lander to the line. Here's Greiba. He is wide open. And that was a pass, I think, goes to the corner. Taken by Lander again on the cycle, but no one is home on the left point, and the Oilers have to go back.
It's still a heck of a shift, though. Really good shift in small areas of the ice for the Edmonton Oilers right there.
And then Yakupov at the line. He was belted by Yashkin. Chopped that by Bertuzzo. And now taken by Tarasenko.
Oh, nice little stutter step to wait.
Now Parayko up the middle. Here's Tarasenko in the clearance shot, and that goes wide. An Oiler hounded him from behind and prevented that shot from going on goal.
Yeah, that was Pouliot, and still Tarasenko, he just wouldn't go away. Stuck with it. He's on a mission here in the second period.
And now McDavid a shot. That was blocked. And then Gunnarsson goes down, and a cross-checking Minor. So a power play, I think it's going to be for the Oilers in this 1-1 game.
The little nudge from behind, a little discreet one. It looked like it was Gunnarsson that tied him up, but on second look, Tarasenko gets the cross-check.
And the Oilers on their third power play. 0 for 2 tonight. Schultz on the line now, McDavid. And then Schultz again. Here's McDavid in the circle. Then a shot blocked by Pietrangelo. And then played by Brodziak off the glass to center. He was there with Ott, but that was broken up, or the Blues would have had a 2-on-1, and now the Oilers guilty of a hand pass.
Well, you can see with all the young skill that the Edmonton Oilers have, from Schultz on the right point to McDavid on the right hash mark as a left-hand shot. And it's always nice to see Captain Canada, Ryan Smith, one of the great Oilers, number 94, as he came out to a standing, rousing ovation. Who will forget the emotional farewell when he was sent packing to the New York Islanders on trade deadline day several years ago.
By the way, the Oilers are wearing their original WHA uniforms tonight. The orange uniforms will wear them 7 times tonight.
That's why Al Hamilton, the first captain of the Oilers, he dropped the ceremonial first puck.
So they'll wear them 7 times this season in their final year at Rexall on this power play. Now it is Hall for Schultz.
I like them.
To Hall, wide open, blocked by Gunnarsson. And then Schultz again. Backes is around him, now in for Hall. Pass in front. Pinballs around off the goalpost. It is still loose. That was close. And the Oilers with 55 to go on the power play. McDavid in front to Hall. And he goes back to the goal. McDavid and Hall play catch. Now Schultz, the shot, and a save by Elliott. And no further play.
Good save. David Backes comes reeling in there after McDavid was snooping around trying to help out, and Backes comes in and cow ties him and drags him out of the huddle right there. But boy, McDavid and Hall behind the net. Little tic-tac-toe play. This one hit the post right here on the backhander. Just trickled maybe. Good left pad save there on the second attempt. And then the little give and go behind there. Hall had received it from McDavid. A shot from the point. And watch McDavid come in. Now watch Backes. Whoop. Get out of there.
But as you said earlier, you've got to do a great job of clearing bodies, protecting your goaltenders, and sending a message.
Well, don't pretend like nothing's happening. Go in there with some sense and help out. Whenever your team, there's an odd man against your team, and even if not, it's even, make sure it's odd man. Make sure you get in there. You don't have to fight. You just have to get in there.
Oilers on the power play. They play it back the line. And Sekera, hounded by Steen, who might have gone to the locker room earlier. We're not sure. We had some reports he did, but quite obviously he is back. Now the puck in the corner. Pietrangelo knocks it away from the Oilers player. Then Yakupov recovers. Plays it back in the cage again. Pietrangelo now down low. Stastny there quickly, and a good backhand clear by Paul Stastny. And 15 to go in Tarasenko's minor. Here comes Oscar Klefbom. And then drilled in by Purcell. And that goes on the dash. You're out of the corner. Ott there. Tarasenko is back. And the Oilers 0 for 3, and they had 3 shots. Tarasenko was loose in the Edmonton zone. But a good job by Klefbom to break that up. Now the Blues get it back. Schwartz wide open, a shot, and Hall blocked it. And that goes out of play as Schwartz was wide open in the slot. Still even at 1 in the home of Wayne Gretzky here in Edmonton. All right, guys, thank you very much. Face off in the Oilers zone. Schwartz steps in. Schwartz played a lot of center in preseason, so was pretty good in the face-off circle. Blues get it off the wall. Here's Tarasenko, and didn't get a lot of mustard on the shot, and that was stopped by Talbot.
This just keeps Tarasenko on the ice on an offensive zone face-off. But let's flash back to Wayne Gretzky in the first goal that he scored in his 3rd NHL game, October 14th, 1979. And look at that celebration. Boy, did we get used to that. He scored 893 more goals after that. Totaled 894. That one was against Glenn Hanlon, the goaltender for the Vancouver Canucks.
Former Blues goaltender. And the Blues win the face-off. Tarasenko, he scores with a rocket! And the Blues take a 2-1 lead. That shot was a laser by Tarasenko.
The STL line back together on the offensive zone face-off, and that took no time whatsoever. Just a snipe by Tarasenko. As Ken Hitchcock, for the first time, has broken up the line of Stastny, Steen, and Tarasenko. Tarasenko, watch him at the top of the circles. Quick little pass there by Bouwmeester. Bouwmeester was stationed down low. Tarasenko up high top of the circles, and it rolls off the end of his blade like you read about. Hard to pick that up from the goaltender's point of view. And boy, does he have Cam Talbot's number.
Yeah, he had a great goal last year in New York against Talbot. He makes it 2-1. The goal at 16:01 is 3rd of the year. Now Stastny comes in. He'll play it back to Pietrangelo. Pass tipped by Brouwer, and that was off a shin pad in front. And now it's Stastny and Steen working the corner. Oilers with it. Nugent Hopkins out of the zone. Then fired back in by Bouwmeester. Tarasenko gets the goal from Bouwmeester and Lehtera.
Yep, Lehtera, it's a set play on the dot. Your left defenseman goes down by the hash marks. Lehtera, the left-hand shot, plays it towards him. And if executed like it was just executed, it ends up that way. At least it ends up with a glorious shot on goal. But this one ends up in the net.
Now the Blues play it in deep. Puck on the wall. Backus cuts it off. Great pass back for Parayko. And the rookie fires it. Hit traffic. Rebound for Upshaw. Right on goal, and a save by Talbot. And now for Gunnarsson.
Yeah, the Blues can do themselves a favor and start rifling pucks towards the net, putting a lot of pressure on this Edmonton Oilers defense. That was their goal earlier in the game.
Now Parayko to Backus. And at the line, good support there by Yashkin. But now it trickles to center ice. With 2.5 to play here in the second. The Blues leading for the first time. That's kicked back of the goal by Yashkin. And the Oilers throw it high, glove down, but now collected by Purcell. To the Parayko corner. Tipped along now for Tarasenko. Look out Yashkin, he goes by Yakupov and rolls it back to the Oiler net. And then Pouliot over there will get it and shoot it down the ice.
Yeah, on that play by Yashkin, he might as well fire that in real hard, because you know your far side defenseman's up there at the right point instead of a soft little dump like that where it's easy for the Edmonton Oilers defenseman to get to.
Now the Blues tic-tac-toe through center. Schwartz comes in for Lehtera. And the Oilers intercept and back to center ice it goes. That's drilled around by Edvinsson. As the Blues are making a change here on the fly. Oilers follow suit with their Taylor Hall line.
Also, and one little change in the combinations there, taking Tarasenko away from Stastny and Steen, has paid off for the Blues.
And now the puck trickles to center. Blues get back. Bouwmeester. And he had Ott open. That goes over his stick. He races after it. And Reinhart up the boards, and this comes to center ice. Oh, and now Bouwmeester.
Boy, Pietrangelo ever take a almost pretty late hit there by Hendricks, although it was a clean hit.
And now, speaking of hits, there's a hit by Reeves. In the final minute of the second period. Reinhart around for Hall. And he coughs it up. Pietrangelo in there, along with Ott. Back to a wide open Reeves. Now for Bouwmeester. He winds up a shot. Blocked. Reeves with it. And then Pietrangelo again. Shovels it back to the goal. Blues trying to make a change here. Steen is on the ice. Now Steen back to the goal, but he can't get there in time. And Greiba for the Oilers. Under pressure. They can't clear it. And lobbed in by Bouwmeester and caught by Talbot.
Well, that gives us an opportunity for our Kia in the driver's seat. And the highest face-off win percentage this season. Well, the St. Louis Blues are strong down the middle, aren't they? And if need be, Troy Brouwer takes face-offs as well, and he's strong on the dot, and there's the win. Jori Lehtera wins it to his left. Bouwmeester pushes it back on a set play, and Tarasenko makes no mistake.
And Todd McClellan talked about just that issue this morning. Getting support off face-offs. And the Blues did there, and it led to a goal. And Parayko a shot. Rebound. Oh, Stastny had a wide open goal. Couldn't get it back on net. And now Parayko again. Out high, Tarasenko. And a shot tipped. And ends up in the corner. And time will run out here in the second period. So a late flurry by the Blues and a late goal by Tarasenko is the difference. As the Blues outshot the Oilers 10-7 in that middle frame. The go-ahead goal by Tarasenko at 16:01, and after 40, the Blues lead 2-1. Back. We check tonight's Infinity Game summary. The Blues leading 2-1 after 2. The shots are dead even at 17 apiece, as are the scoring chances. Lehtera and Tarasenko are the goal scorers for the Blues.
Well, the Tarasenko show continues here. And there was a moment in that second period where it looked like he was just tired and fed up with what was going on, and he said, "Get on my back, boys, because I'm going to go hunt." And that he did. Last 11 games, postseason and the regular season, only 10 goals and 4 assists. He was a one-man wrecking crew. When he gets the puck here, he thinks he's home free, but he doesn't give up on the play. Pouliot did a good job, but just not good enough. Then the face-off win, and we know that through analytics and charting it, that Tarasenko is on the ice for 70% of the offensive zone face-off to start the play. And that's why, because when he's on the ice, good things happen. So you might as well give him the candy on the offensive zone face-off with the great center iceman that win face-offs for the Blues.
In his last 11 regular season and playoff games, Tarasenko 10 goals, 4 assists.
Yeah.
And the Blues leading 2-1.
Pretty good numbers,
I would say. Blues are 1-0 when leading after 2. The Oilers are 0-1 when trailing. Now the puck played by Steen. On to center ice, Stastny. That is broken up. Puck bomb had his pocket picked by Tarasenko. He works in. And a hard shot, and a rocket goes wide. And the Oilers play it up the middle. Blocked by Tarasenko. Again a shot. And that goes high and wide. He's all over the ice. You can only hope to contain him. And now the Oilers take over, and Taylor Hall. And now Nugent Hopkins to center ice. That goes around the boards.
The interesting part is he's trying to go high to the glove side on Talbot. I did a little research on Talbot, and that's not an area that he gives up a whole lot of goals. It's the 5-hole that he's given up the most amount of goals, at least last year anyway.
I think Talbot has seen enough of Tarasenko.
Yeah, and that's where Tarasenko scored in the opener, actually, on that quick release breakaway at Scott Trade in Game 1 through the legs.
Now the Oilers with it. Fane broken up at the line by Laterra. And the crafty Finn feeds it in, but that is an offside.
Well, we mentioned Cam Talbot. Last year, as a member of the New York Rangers, this is Tarasenko at his best. You want 20,000 fans at the world's most famous building picking up their jaw? That's what happened with that brilliant individual effort. Hello, hockey world. And then Cam Talbot saw him again in Game 1, and instead of waiting and making the deke on Talbot, he might have surprised him by just rifling that right between the legs. And here he has two chances of Tarasenko trying to go high over the glove, and he missed the net on both those opportunities. So maybe he's just trying to keep him honest.
Exactly.
You know, he's gotten the one-handed deke. He's gone between the legs, and he's having a little fun trying to go high to the glove side as well. Maybe he wants a little water bottle knocker right there under the bar and in. Hunting around. Oopsie, cuff bomb. I got the puck. Quick release. And it gets through Schultz, but it goes over the glove. It happened twice in a row.
And a shot by Edmondson caught. You know, Vladdy's dad, Andre, has never seen him play here in North America. Of course, he coaches in the KHL with Sieber.
Yep.
And Vladdy said, if we make it to the second round, Andre will come along with his 15-year-old brother.
Well, Andre was a really skilled player as well, playing over 20 years of pro. Real skilled. So when you ask Tarasenko who he learned from or who he watched, he says, my dad. I watch tapes of my dad. The respect he has for his father and his grandfather is just immense.
Now Bertuzzo lobs it back of the goal. Here is Upshaw there for the Blues. And the puck stripped by the Blues again. Now Upshaw on the backhand. Gets it for Yashkin. And he is tied up in knots by Reinhart, the 21-year-old defenseman. Son of former NHLer Paul Reinhart. Now Griffin gets it away.
Boy, Paul was a good player, wasn't he?
Was he ever?
Man, number 23 for the Calgary Flames. He was good.
Good power forward. Now the Blues off the boards. Backus, speaking of power forwards, he was rocked.
You know, Mike Babcock would say, he's a good player.
It's a pretty good imitation. Now Ott comes in, and that's an offside.
He's a good player.
As we get a break. Well, celebrate Oktoberfest with the Blues and Bud Light on Tuesday, October 27th, when the Blues take on Tampa. The first 10,000 fans 21 and older get a Blues-themed collectible beer stein. We'll also have German music, food, and a lot of fun all night. That's on October 27th. Blues get it to the net, and a save by Talbot on Gunnarsson.
He looked behind him, didn't he? He looked behind him. He thought it snuck underneath his pads, and that's to me, that's a smart play. You look behind you and see if it's behind you, you know, and it's not an unsure play. I mean, obviously you don't know where it is, but make sure you look, because if it's there, you can at least capture it at some point. It looked like Gunnarsson maybe fanned on that a little bit, and that's why Talbot was kind of raising his body upwards, and it went underneath.
How about the Canadians? They win tonight.
Yeah.
Over the Rangers. They're 5-0 for the first time in their 106-year history. The first time they're 5-0. That's amazing to me.
Me too. Absolutely amazing. And, you know, when they won their first 4 games, that had been done 3 times prior. And the previous 3 times they won the Stanley Cup.
So you're going to say they're going to win the Cup this year?
Well, I'd say that with a goalie like Carey Price, you've got a chance. He's just, everybody's wondering, can Carey Price play the same way he played in the Olympics there with Ken Hitchcock and Babcock? Can he play the same way with last year when he won the Vezina, the Hart, the Ted Lindsay Award? Yes, he can, because he's even-keeled, and he's great. He's not even in his prime yet.
Canadians have a very good hockey club.
Led by a phenomenal goalie.
Now it's Tarasenko going wide. Pass to the front. Stastny was in a battle there, and I think he was held, and we get a minor.
Everybody's looking around, though, and Mark Fane's going to be the one going because he's closer to the referee, arguing the call a little bit, I'm sure.
This is number 5, 2 minutes for holding.
Fane he's been aggressive in this game. He's been closing gaps and been aggressive, but here on this rush, you can see his hand reaches out. Oh, well, then he clearly goes around. He's got both hands around Alexander Steen. Fairly easy call to make, and as Bernie Federko said, the Blues penalty killing has been good in this game. Now they got a chance on the power play to maybe put a little distance between them and the Oilers here.
They're 0 for 1 tonight. Tarasenko, and a pass across. Good stick in the lane there by Hendricks. And then it goes to Tarasenko again. And he drops it off, but a blind pass picked off by Letestu. And he rips it down the ice. Elliott sets it up. Played by Pietrangelo, not a Steen. And at center ice, it is Stastny into Backes. He can't get loose. Puck rolls around. And Stastny again back of the goal. Backes in some traffic. And away from the traffic. Now back to the line. Tarasenko off the boards. Pietrangelo. Wide open Steen. Winds up and fires it wide. And then Pietrangelo again. 45 gone on the power play. To Tarasenko. Wrist shot blocked. And now Steen off his skates. Here's Backes to Steen. And that was intercepted there. Good play by the Oilers. And they do clear it to center ice. But not very far. Tarasenko back in the zone. Drop pass Pietrangelo. In for Steen. In front. And they score! Stastny, I believe, tipped it in. And the Blues a power play goal.
Broken down plays all over the ice. But the good hands of the St. Louis Blues players were able to keep pucks in. And you talk about little persistency right there. Stastny ends up banging it home. Good for Stastny to get in front of that net. Usually it's obviously big David Backes is there. And you can see that Steen is looking one way back towards Pietrangelo, but then he plays it over towards Stastny, and it just goes beyond Tarasenko's stick, right on Stastny's stick, and he's strong on it. He's old school strong on his twig right there, and he redirects it into the net. An outstanding play when you consider how many times that was broken, and it looked like Edmonton was going to clear the zone, but they just couldn't get it out.
And that is the Blues' third power play goal this year. The first power play goal against the Oilers this season.
St. Louis goal scored on the power play by
And it's 3-1. Stastny gets the goal. That's his first of the year. And that's a big goal to make it 3-1. Now Schwartz a shot. That's blocked by Klefbom. And then Laterra goes shoulder to shoulder against Klefbom. Steen and Pietrangelo get the assist on the goal. As the Oilers thought they had that cleared, but it was out or near the line and stayed in. And it goes in the net. And again, the Oilers fail to clear. Now they do, and here comes McDavid, 3-on-2. For Pouliot, and across, and a one-timer, and a glove save by Elliott on Yakupov.
Really strong execution by the Edmonton Oilers and a good one-timer by Yakupov. I like the read by Elliott. So one of the few times that Elliott's been tested here in this period, and Edmonton's got to have full-on urgency right here. They've got to be throwing everything but the kitchen sink out towards the goaltenders. We take a look at our Plaza Tire Service scoring summary. Stastny, his first goal of the year. Steen and Pietrangelo with the helpers.
And the Blues win the faceoff. And they get the puck to center ice. Here is Brodziak. An original draft choice of the Oilers. Reaves a shot. That goes wide.
And an Edmonton boy has got his home here in the offseason.
Now Greiba to center ice. And then Nugent Hopkins is in there, but that's an offside.
Well, you're going to score goals in this league. You've got to drive to the net, and this is our Mazda drive to the net. Just a bunch of broken down plays, but they stay with it, and a really neat little play there by Steen. Looked like he was going to go back to Pietrangelo. He doesn't. And that is our Mazda drive to the net. Stick on the ice. See the defenseman in that play? Greiba's on the outside of it, and no one's got basically the passing lane taken care of right there.
Stastny had 16 goals last year, including a career-high 7 game winners. And he has staked the Blues to a 3-1 lead. As Backes works hard against Lander. Now for Upshaw. And then Yashkin. Blues are in Vancouver tomorrow night as they continue on this 6-game road trip. And again, the Blues get it right back in. The Blues have played a lot more hockey in the Oilers' end of the rink in this third period, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, they turned it up a notch, haven't they?
Now the Blues.
A bit of a theme this year.
Here's Backes again and Yashkin, and they get it right back. Those big bodies. Centering feed intended for Pietrangelo, and that's off a stick and out the other way.
But even then, like, Korpikoski thinks he's got it out of the zone. There's Pietrangelo right in his face. Aggressive, on his toes, keeping the puck in.
And then Bouwmeester drifts in. That pass blocked. Oilers jam it up the boards. Here comes Hall. He flies in. And a shot and a glove save by Elliott. And he won't take any chances with Nugent Hopkins lurking in the slot. Big power play goal by Stastny gives the Blues a 3-1 lead. Thank you, Scott. As the Wild are off to a very good start. 2-0 to begin play tonight. Arizona a bit of a surprise in the early going, winning their first 3 games. Here it's 3-1 for the Blues. Face off 1. Now in front they score! Hall! And it's 3-2 as Taylor Hall stole it.
And this place erupts. Good individual effort by Taylor Hall. He had a good scoring chance prior to that when he tried to rifle it past the glove side, but Brian Elliott made the save. This one here off the faceoff. Watch him on the far right side. Oh, what a quick stick he has there. Colton Parayko just got robbed by the quick hand-eye coordination there, right between the legs, and then the backhander as Elliott tries the premature poke check right there. And as he's going out to reach, Taylor Hall is already pushing that puck over the blocker side. What an individual effort by Hall.
He had 14 goals last year. A career high 27 2 years ago, and that's a huge goal to cut the lead to 1. Now the Blues quickly into the zone, 2-on-1. Here's Steen. Had Tarasenko open, but his pass blocked.
Yeah, Nugent Hopkins got him right on the hands just as he was about to pass that, it looked like.
And a shot from Steen again blocked. So again, it's ironic. Off a faceoff, the Blues won the draw, but Hall stole it. So 2 goals off faceoffs tonight. Now Bouwmeester, that shot. And an easy save for Talbot. Saw it all the way.
Well, the play there for Bouwmeester is to keep going to the wall and then feed it to the middle of the ice where Tarasenko had come backwards for the high shot.
And now the Oilers with Matt Hendricks to center ice. And a bouncer, tricky one for Elliott, who defers to Pietrangelo. Hall gets the goal unassisted at 6:37. And Laterra. And that wobbler it on goal. Here's Gryba. He was hit there by Brouwer. Puck in front. Now back Bertuzzo. That shot wide. And then it's twisting and turning. Jaden Schwartz. Schwartz again with a nice move. Brouwer, and then Bertuzzo, a fluttering shot, and that's blocked by Cam Talbot.
Really good pressure right there by the Brouwer, Schwartz, and Laterra line. Bertuzzo's shot is stopped by Talbot, but the play that Taylor Hall had just before that with his great speed, outside, trying to go to the, kind of against the grain like that, trying to get the goalie off his angle, and then he scores the goal by fighting off 2 guys, Gunnarsson and Parayko.
Had a team leading 14 shots in the first 3 games. Blues, they win the faceoff, but it was dropped unfairly. Again, the defending team must put their stick down first. And now Letestu will get tossed, so Hall will take it against Backes. And the Oilers win the draw. Yashkin hounding Mark Fane from behind, and Hall tips it away and then loses his stick. He wanted a penalty, but the referees let it go. And the Blues captain Backes, he goes wide and to the net, but that was broken up in the last second. And Sekera, number 2 there for Edmonton. Here's Hall getting loose, and he now goes back to his own line for Schultz.
That's one of the keys early on this season. Every line needs to establish their own identity. Don't try to be something you're not. And I think we're seeing that here in this third period.
As the Oilers at center, Korpikoski, that was broken up, and it goes over the boards at the Blues bench.
Well, it'll be an interesting situation for Ken Hitchcock and the coaching staff. Back-to-back nights. This is the first of 12 back-to-backs at Vancouver tomorrow night. And whether or not a guy like Scotty Gomez and the fresh legs of the 35-year-old two-time Stanley Cup champion gets in or not. But there are some options there. I think it's good to see Robert Bortuzzo come in and have a strong game.
Bortuzzo playing over 10.5 minutes through 2 periods. Here is Edmondson.
That's 2 big redwood trees on the blue line. Bortuzzo 6'4", and Edmondson 6'4".
And Edmondson has lost his stick. It's up the boards, and now he kicks it, and the puck is tipped away, and it goes back to center ice. Here the Oilers regrouping. Nugent Hopkins, Edmondson lost his balance to the front, and a great save by Elliott. As Edmondson got trapped a bit as he lost his balance. Now Klefbom, a shot blocked. Another shot, that was wide. Penalty coming up here. It's against the Blues.
It's against Bortuzzo with pressure on the Blues. Bortuzzo's arguing his battle with Taylor Hall. And it looks to me like Bortuzzo's telling that it was Hall that held him first. A lot of times the referees, they don't see the first part of it. They see the second part. And Bortuzzo, I think, has a pretty good argument on this. But at the bottom, you can see the battle behind there. He's boxed out. Really, I mean, hard to tell, and the referee's got a way different angle right there. But one thing for sure is with the helmet falling off the noggin there of Taylor Hall and the fact that he ended up down and the puck wasn't anywhere near him, the referee gave the offensive player the benefit there.
Oilers 0 for 3 with the power play, down by a goal. Lander wins the faceoff. Now back for Sekera, and then for Klefbom. Steve Ott on him. Good play by Ott, now ahead for Brodziak. And he kills some time. Oilers get it back. Yakupov as he swings wide. Lander back to the goal. And Bouwmeester takes a good angle. Puck at the line, but kept in by Sekera. And now the Oilers get set up. Klefbom a shot. And that got through, and a save by Elliott. And then they throw Lander out of the goal crease area.
You know what? I like the way Jay Bouwmeester got aggressive right there. I like Jay's game here the last 2 games, and get him the heck out of that blue paint like that. And that's good defending. You're not going to stop every shot that goes away. That's what your goaltender's there for. Lander's in real good position right there. But then once he's in there, the whistle's gone. The goalie's got it. Get out of there.
And now the Oilers send out their #1 power play. Nugent Hopkins, Hall, McDavid, Pouliot, and Schultz.
And they're overloading the right side, as you can see there, with Hall and McDavid.
Blues control the faceoff. Stastny wins it. Blues have a 3-on-2 led by Steen. Steen carries in, and he breaks his stick.
What a shame.
And goes to the bench. And Stastny sends it all the way back for Gunnarsson. And he'll whip it in.
Last year, Alexander Steen scored 15 goals, 11.5% of his on slap shots, amongst the leaders in the NHL. Hard to take a slapper when your twig snaps, though.
Yeah, it doesn't work so well, does it? Now the Oilers keep it in there. Here's McDavid. Gunnarsson gets it away and swatted down the ice by Captain David Backes. And 45 left in Bortuzzo's minor. And Justin Schultz, who was signed after a great career at Wisconsin, a highly sought-after free agent. Yakupov drills it in. Bouwmeester up the boards, Laterra, and a good clear again by the Blues.
Yeah, good communication there. Just a small, short pass there from Bouwmeester, who's tied up with his man. And Laterra likely communicating that he was wide open.
Now Klefbom down the boards, and again Bouwmeester over there with his long reach. And again the Blues kill some time. And some of the sellout crowd a little bit upset with the home team.
2 pretty good defensemen right there, and Bouwmeester and Pietrangelo guarding the front.
And the Blues are back at full strength. The Oilers had 2 shots on that power play and are now 0 for 4. And the Blues take over Laterra. He goes back to the near corner for Parayko. Tipped by Tarasenko, out of danger. And Schwartz trying to steal it from Greiba. And again on Greiba. Good job by Greiba. And now walked along by Korpikoski. He scored the game's first goal. Tarasenko off the glass and out. Korpikoski and Hall for the Oilers. Stastny, Tarasenko, and Laterev scored for the Blues.
Another good aggressive play by Bouwmeester there on Korpikoski in the one-on-one.
And now it comes to Upshaw, who had his first goal as a Blue the other night. In the slot. And the rookie Slepyshev, who has not played a lot tonight, gets it out. An Oiler is down and a tripping call. And it looks like the Blues will be short again, leading 3-2.
Well, there has to be no worse feeling being alone in the penalty box. 3-2 game on the road, 7.5 left to go in the game. He's just trying to hack and whack and slice and dice, but he ends up taking the skates out from underneath Korpikoski. He's aggressive. He's tenacious. He just got caught there with the stick blade just on the skate blade, just barely to knock him down. He was looking for stick on stick, but he got stick on blade.
And the Oilers on their 5th power play of the night. Nothing for 4. And another huge kill here for the Blues. Backes against Nugent Hopkins. Dropped unfairly. Last year the Blues penalty kill 7th best. The Oilers on the power play last season 19th in the league.
This is where David Backes leads by example. He's been a horse in this game, boy.
And he must get his stick down first. Nugent Hopkins wins it back for Schultz. And he walks the line for Hall. A shot blocked by Bouwmeester. And then a Hall again. Blocked again by Bouwmeester. And now Taylor Hall to the line to Schultz. And then back for Hall. He's knocked down from behind by Backes.
That's a little overpowering body by Backes right there.
And the puck at the line. Bang. Now Brouwer stole it, and he's got a break. Nugent Hopkins trying to get him. Breakaway. Brouwer! And he was caught from behind by Nugent Hopkins.
What an effort by the guy they call the Nuge. Great effort right there.
And did not take a penalty. Now Nugent Hopkins again. In for McDavid. To Nugent Hopkins. Broke his stick. And the Blues cleared around the boards and down the ice.
Boy, fine line there for Nugent Hopkins, though, when he's behind like that, huh? And I think he caught Brouwer by surprise. I think Brouwer thought he was in all alone, and Nugent Hopkins never stopped moving his skates.
52 seconds left in Upshaw's minor. Puck bomb. And then Ott breaks it up. And he kicks the puck the other way, and then he kicks Klefbom to the ice.
Well, he felt like he was interfered with first by Klefbom, so he likely got a freebie there.
And it comes around Steen. He jams at it. Puck caroms to the corner. Edmondson up the middle now to Steen, one-on-one. Working on Sekera. And Steen will rag the puck in behind the Oiler goal, killing some time. Under 20 to go in the power play. That's center. Stastny stripped Purcell of the puck. Great job by Paul Stastny. Nail Yakupov for the Oilers. He does a 360. Passes to nobody. And then Schwartz is run to the wall. Upshaw is back. Edmonton 0 for 5 tonight. No shots on that power play. Huge kill by the Blues.
And again, that's the kind of moment there for David Backes to take control. Even though he lost the face-off to begin the penalty kill, he goes out to the point, he drills Schultz, he gets the puck out, he just does the little things. He puts a little fear into the puck carrier because he's not going to skate by you. If he has a chance to go through you, he's going to do just that. And there's the Backes hit right there that led to Brouwer being all alone. Thinks he's got time. Nugent Hopkins, oh, good play there. See, from our angle, I wasn't sure if he, how he got him like that, but he did a great job. All he did was poke the puck ahead of him. That's just a tremendous defensive, determined effort by Nugent Hopkins on Brouwer.
That's where Brouwer needed a rear view mirror to see that there was a guy coming behind him. Yeah, I think he thought he was in the clear by 10 feet. 5.5 to go here. And the Blues hang on. They lead 3-2. Now Letestu ahead. Tipped in by Slepyshev. And corralled by Backus. And then Parayko around now to Tarasenko. He scored his third of the year tonight. Now to Backus. Backus, great pass back to Gunnarsson. And a shot. That's turned away by Talbot. And then Yashkin throws it around. But Tarasenko goes off on a line change.
Well, Hitchcock got Tarasenko out on the ice because of the penalty kill. Get those fresh offensive-minded legs. And quite often, Tarasenko does get on the ice following a penalty kill situation just to see if you can catch the other team off guard a little bit.
Now Taylor Hall. He motors back to the goal. Bolmeister, he's played a strong game on defense. Blows to center ice.
Really encouraging. I think his last 2 games have been excellent.
And now the Blues reorganizing at center ice. 4.5 to play in regulation. And then Bolmeister, rink-wide feed. Stastny has some speed, 3-on-2. Drop pass to Steen, and a shot up high. Fought off by Talbot. And it's back of the goal now. And the Blues get it back. Stastny to Steen, and a great save with the left toe by Talbot. Point-blank save. And now Connor McDavid at his own line for Nugent Hopkins. Cuts to the middle. And Edmondson on the back check takes over for the Blues.
Yeah, Edmondson was in deep, and Tarasenko identified that, so he became the defenseman. I'm not sure about Vladdy's backwards skating just yet. He goes forward pretty quick.
And now Jaden Schwartz. 3 Oilers back. He goes wide. Schwartz, backhand feed in the area of Tarasenko, but it rolled over his stick. This play continues here with 3.5 to play.
How many times have we seen that execution by Stastny and Steen? And Steen gets that little wrister right between the legs, or using Stastny as a screen after Stastny had dropped it to him.
Now it's fired ahead by Upshall. Not out, though. Lander working down low. Now the Oilers with it. Now they cough it up, and on his knee, Schwartz will chip it away. And Reinhart, they have broken his stick there, fanned on it. And the puck is settled by Pietrangelo. Long stretch pass for Upshall. And he makes the smart veteran play to get it deep. Reinhart hit there by Backus. And now Purcell, outlet feed, goes to nobody, pounded back in by Parayko. They have gone without a whistle for a good 3 or 4 minutes here.
We'll see what Todd McClellan does and how he communicates to his goaltender.
2.5 to go. The Oilers to center. Purcell, and a shot. Easy save there for Elliott. And then Stastny ahead for Brouwer. Nice play on to Steen with Parayko. Ahead to Parayko. Talbot trying to clear it. Knocked down a drive.
Oh.
That was blocked as Brouwer let it go. Now to Steen. He scores! Steen into the top corner. And it's 4-2.
Just too much for this young Oilers squad. That is a tremendous, tremendous play and a brilliant shot. High over the glove, under the bar and in for his 2nd goal of the year. He has a slapper, half slapper right there. And what a left pad save by Cam Talbot. But they keep it going. You can see Talbot went to play the puck out, and then the Blues keep it going. And, oh, that's just a perfect pass. Just a perfect pass from Brouwer. Boy, we've seen some nice plays from Troy Brouwer. Offensively, sees the ice, goes to the front of the net and does all the little stuff. But, man, that was a nice play.
He has 2 assists tonight. And, of course, entered the game with a couple of goals and 3 points. And that's a huge goal by Steen, his 2nd at 17:51. And it's 4-2. Brouwer gets the lone assist. Now Sekera with it. I think they're going to pull Talbot here.
Yeah.
And now they do as he heads off. Empty net Edmonton. That is fired in by Sekera. Don't forget Missouri Lottery. Blues Live is next. Oilers get it down low, and from McDavid, a pass across, and shot just wide, I think, by Hall. And out of the corner again for Connor McDavid. Backus ahead on the wing for Ott. And then Backus. And he shoots it toward the empty net, but it won't go all the way. with 70 seconds left here. 6 attackers, Edmonton. And Hall. That shot was blocked by Pietrangelo. Kicked at, now a drive, a hot drive on goal by Yakupov. Oilers get it again back of the goal. Yakupov fans on it, and then Backes at the empty net. And his 195-foot shot is wide by 10 feet.
Well, time now with 46 seconds left in this hockey game for our Timberland pro. Stay on your feet. Use your edges to do that. Laterra, right there. Has to use balance on a perfectly executed 3-on-2. And a brilliant play from Schwartz, Brouwer, over to Laterra. And the ankle surgery that he had in the offseason has not hindered his play whatsoever. He is in mid-season form.
And we have a timeout here as the Blues lead it 4-2. Blues will head to the airport and on to Vancouver tomorrow night.
Tough game
for
there.
A
tough game.
rested Canuck club.
That's a good hockey club. You know, there's a lot of people out there that thought, well, what are they doing? Are they going young? Are they staying where they are at? Well, I tell you what, they're getting some great play for some young players. And Brandon Sutter playing with the Sedin twins. And Bo Horvat, and the second-line centerman, had an outstanding start to the season, along with Ryan Miller, the former Blue goalie.
Canucks are 3-0-1. Empty net here for Edmonton. Down by a pair. Nugent-Hopkins stripped of the puck by Pietrangelo. And this goes toward the net. And again, it goes well wide of the goal. I think it's a good play when you're up by 2 to take pot shots at the empty net. That's my feeling.
I'm with you all the way. You got no problem with that.
If you're up by 1, it's a risk.
Last time I looked, the Blues were the best face-off team in the National Hockey League. Go to my strength on that anytime. If you're the weakest team in the NHL, well, maybe that changes your philosophy, even up 2.
And the Blues control the face-off, but a penalty called. It's a high stick.
Taylor Hall going off. Well, tough one for the young Edmonton Oilers club in front of the raucous crowd to begin this game and high expectations, but that stick comes up clearly on Jay Bouwmeester, and you can see the helmet and the visor of Bouwmeester flung back on his head, but that really had no bearing on the outcome of this hockey game. It's over.
Chris Lee and Kelly Sutherland have done a very good job tonight, keeping things in order. Blues on the power play.
Hall of Famer Bill McCreary on hand as the supervisor of officials tonight, and always nice to see Bill. Boy, did he ref in a whole bunch of huge games.
Here's a wide open Laterra. Pass in front, Greiba getting back to break it up. And with 10 seconds left, the Blues are going to win their second in a row. And Parayko was hit from behind by Hendricks. And he'll get a penalty here, but more than that, the Blues are a little bit upset with Hendricks.
It's a cross-check where Parayko's facing the boards. Looks like Parayko's trying to go to his right, but it ends up being a dangerous play, and Tarasenko comes to his aid and gives him a tap on the head. There, right there. Yeah. Well, the good news is that Parayko took a good angle. You see, he was already angled on a turn, not going straight into the boards.
2 minutes for cross-check.
But it's a cross-check too close to the boards. It can always be a dangerous play right there, potentially.
And there are his parents, Tom and Karen,
surrounded by Oilers scarves and sweaters, and
every fan got a orange scarf tonight.
They look like hockey socks, huh?
Yeah, they really do. And again, that's the color of their original jersey in the World Hockey Association,
where they made this unbelievable trade with the Indianapolis Pacers to get number 99, Nelson Skelbania. Then they got an NHL franchise, and 99 turned out to be a really good player.
That was money well invested. And that's going to do it. And the Blues win it 4-2, the final here at Edmonton, as they spoil the Oilers' final home opener at Rexall Place.
Well, good work by Brian Elliott. Again, the Blues give up the first goal of the game, but as the game goes on, they just get stronger and stronger, and we're just too much for this young Oilers squad tonight.
Blues outshoot the Oilers 29-26 and win it 4-2.